Hey, what's up? It's Angela Yee.
I'm Stephanie Santiago.
Leah McSweeney.
Why do I feel like you're like vibrating or echoing or something?
Who, me?
Was my intro a little much?
No, you're okay. And Dante?
How you doing? I'm Dante Nero.
Dante Nero, comedian.
Actor.
He has his own podcast.
Yeah. I do a little acting, stand-up comedy, and I have an own podcast on from a relationship podcast from a masculine perspective.
What's a masculine perspective of relationships? Exactly.
I was a male stripper for like 11 years.
A male stripper?
Then from that I ended up I got a little bit into the pimp game for about 7 years. And then I had a lot of guys who were having problems with their relationships. And I started applying pimp principles to square relationships.
Okay, so let me ask you something about male strippers.
Sure.
Now, I have a great time because I've hosted some male review shows, and it's always really fun.
Right.
But I know sometimes they say, like, there's certain things that you have to do because your dick has to look hard and big.
Well, that's what you're talking about is beefing up. What a guy does is he jerks off, and then what they usually will take is a 1/2 inch of ace bandage, and they tie it behind the testicles.
Right, to keep the blood, to cut the circulation.
To cut the circulation, to keep the blood in
it's like a waist trainer for men.
Yeah.
It's actually, for penises.
I mean, it used to be like they used to use cock rings, but being the fact that ace bandage, because the ace bandage works good on your knee even when you're running, so it works even better.
Is that dangerous?
Sure. I mean, it's painful. It can be painful for a while, but I mean, you release it and it. You know, you let the blood, you let it breathe, and then you go back out.
Can you get like gangrene or something from that?
I guess you could, but I mean, you're by that time you're going to be in a lot of pain. You'll be in a lot of pain from doing that. So
now, previously, a lot of my friends had thought that male strippers, a lot of them are gay. Are a lot of male strippers gay?
I think it is. I think there was a time when it was a real separation between gay strippers and straight strippers. I know when I did it, we separated the different stats. Stigma was always there. So when I was kind of in the game, we always kept it separate because we were trying to kill that stigma. Now it's like it's kind of a free for all, guys. I mean, you get guys who even consider themselves straight. They do gay shows, straight shows. It's whatever.
Like, I'm straight, but for the sake of this show and this money, I'm gonna be gay for the night.
But it's a funny thing because it's a slippery slope because now you got guys touching you and stuff, and it makes it easier to.
You know, I know this guy he claims he's completely hetero. He's straight, and he does gay porn.
Yeah, I don't,
Like he gets fucked in the ass?
No, he fucks in the ass. He fucks people in the ass.
So
he doesn't get fucked in the ass.
Because sometimes the rule is you're not gay if you're the one that's getting your dick sucked or you're the one fucking a guy.
No, you're still gay.
You're still gay.
You're gay.
You're still gay. You're still gay. I think they're trying to find these little classifications to justify. I used to date a call girl for a while, and
I thought you were gonna say a man. I was like, okay.
I dated a call girl, and she kind of fell in love with me, and she had decided that because she fell in love with me, that we would only have anal sex because to her anal sex was personal and vaginal sex was business, and so but all that was a compartmentalization of. What she thought was in her own head. Like, this is personal, this is not.
Did you enjoy having anal sex with her only?
I think you get to the point with anything you want some pussy too. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a weird.
Oh God, I wish I could have anal sex and just be like, oh, this is so personal.
Right, anal sex.
I can't have anal sex.
Vaginal sex is more personal.
Dead.
Because you know why? Because you could get pregnant from that. That's
Stephanie,
right.
I'm surprised that you.
I can't take it in the ass.
I'm so disappointed right now.
I am disappointed in myself.
You.
I love watching women take it in the ass. I think it's the sexiest thing in the world.
Have you tried a butt plug?
Yeah, and it's so. I'm like.
I'm so not into anything in my butt either.
No, me either. I don't like now they have this new thing, eat the booty like groceries. I think it's the stupidest thing ever.
Right?
Don't try to lick my asshole. If you're gonna go down there, suck my clit.
That's it. Don't lick my booty.
Well, I mean,
very clearly.
It's a funny thing that if you talk about to anal, to get anal, one of the things that you do is you lick somebody's ass. I mean, that is what preps them.
Oh, really?
Oh,
And
right,
I'll tell you, the
right.
best anal
I thought it
sex
was
I've
just
had
lube.
was not with lubricant. The best anal sex I've ever had, because I've had anal sex that I've enjoyed.
Right.
Okay,
It's
so you
with-
do get fucked in the
No,
ass.
So what are you
I
talking
don't.
about?
That's
I
not
mean,
true.
come on, you're
With
acting
my
like you
son's
don't-
father, I had anal sex that I enjoyed. Me and my son's father haven't been together for almost 3 years, but the only anal sex that I've ever enjoyed was with natural lubricant spit.
Well,
Because
I mean, you
feel
got to.
like
There's a
lube makes it weird
there's
inside
a-
of my body, like in my ass. It's like, ew, I got like.
there's a
lube in my
few
ass.
lubes. There's a few
Weird.
lubes that, and they make some lubes that have kind of like an anesthetization.
water-based one.
Well, there's this one lube that's really good. It's called Pure, PJURE, and they
What?
also make an anal lube that has like a.
Can you text me that info, please?
I absolutely will. It actually has it's like a Novocaine, like a form of Novocaine that,
Whoa.
that
Oh no,
numbs it
anal
initially.
ease. I've
Yes.
heard of
Oh
that
my
anal
Right,
ease.
well, anal ease, but there's a couple of different.
But you got to use a
brands.
condom
If
for
you
that.
should have to,
For
if
anal
you need
leads,
to
no,
numb
you
your
don't.
ass, you shouldn't
No,
be
because doesn't
putting
it numb the
anything in
man's
it.
dick?
Oh well, ultimately, the numbing happens initially, and then it kind of wears
It wears-
away.
oh,
Wears
okay,
away.
okay.
But there's like the same
Because my
company makes it.
bestie, she takes it in the ass, and she's like, "Girl, you got to use this anal ease shit, but you got to use a condom." And I'm like, "I'm in a relationship. We don't use condoms. God, but don't take my advice. You should use condoms, even if you're in a relationship. Use condoms
Well, if
all
you
the
guys
time.
both
Keep
got
yourself
tested,
protected."
I'm sure it's fine. Does anybody
We
do that?
have.
Like go get tested with their partner?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
You're lying. You did not go test.
Yes,
with
I
your-
did.
You're lying, Stephanie. I could
No,
tell.
I'm not.
Liar.
I am lying.
Leah, do you
but
go
I'm
get tested
gonna
with
say
your
I'm
man? Like before you date a guy and then before you take the condom off, you're like, come on, let's go get tested.
No.
not. No, but every time me and
Dante,
my
so
man
you're
fight,
saying
I
you
go
do
and
it?
get
Yeah,
an STD
I
test.
haven't done it all the time, but yeah, I have done it.
No, but Angela, every time me and my man fight, I go and get an STD test.
Well, that's different. That's you.
Because
just
I'm
being
like,
spiteful.
nigga, what? You better make sure I don't got nothing, because I'm going to cut you if I got something.
And what good is that going to do?
I'm always good.
I'm going to cut you and get it doubly.
You know, it's funny when you know people. The thing about anal sex is that I think it's a really personal thing, and it's a trust issue because the guy can hurt you.
Right.
So there's a trust and a kind of an intimacy issue that needs to be necessary for you to even get that. So if a guy, like I've been with girls where I've went down on them and I've ate their ass and played with the fingers, and then it starts to open up, and where they're hot, where they're going, I want give it to me, and then I
Yes.
would go. But I think as a man, I mean, and this is kind of what my podcast is about. It's the Base
Anal
Phillips
sex?
show. Well, it's about
Really? I need to
well, kind
subscribe.
of, yeah. I guess it's about the credibility of men. I think that a lot of times you get a lot of brothers who are growing up with single parents, don't have fathers, and they don't have fathers that are teaching them how to be men. So the credibility of a man, the trust issue of where this woman feels as though she can let this guy, take her to the point where she can have anal sex, and it becomes and even to understand maybe if she's not ready. So if a guy,
I'm not ready.
You're not ready already.
But I will say this. For all the guys out there, if I let you have anal sex with me, it's because you have a small penis.
Oh,
That's the only way I'm doing it. That's the only way I'm having anal sex. If your penis is like pretty small, then maybe I'll try it. But I'm not doing that with an average.
Maybe it's
you know, I'm the
All three
total
of us have
opposite. The
intimacy
biggest, no, honestly, I'm the total opposite. The biggest, I want the biggest dick every
I'm
time.
gonna get torn apart.
I want that, like when I get a guy with a big dick, I want him to fuck me in my ass so bad, but it never works.
Right, it's
It's
not
just
going
too
in.
much. It
Well,
doesn't go in exactly.
I'll text you the name of
It's
that
not going
lube.
in.
I'll
Take
text you the
some
name of that
painkillers.
lube.
Take
You're
some-
good.
take
I
some
got you.
painkillers.
You'll
All right,
be
now
good.
let's switch directions a little bit because I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and she was saying that her boyfriend wants them to have a joint account. Okay, they're not married, they're not like that. But what do you think about being in a relationship? Because finances are the number one reason that people get divorced and
Sure,
break up.
sure.
What do you think about being in a relationship and having a joint account?
I think you can have a joint account as long as he has his own separate account and she has her separate account as well. Like if they're living together and they've decided to do that. I mean, I think it's a great way to trust. You don't have to put your whole life
I'll put
savings.
$10 a month, baby, in my
Exactly.
joint
But I mean, it's a good way. It's a good way to kind of build that trust in the first place. Is that okay? We have these funds and we're spending these funds, and we can see how somebody responds or how they don't respond to having these funds in there. So if you got funds in there and you have this joint account, and then every time she got a new pair of shoes and the bills ain't paid, I mean, then it shows you, it kind of gives you an idea of where you're at in the first place.
I'm more thinking like the guy is gonna take all your money and fucking be out.
For me,
Well, I mean,
I don't want a joint account. Even if you can match me, I still don't want a joint account. Keep your money where it's supposed to be in your bank account, and I'll keep mine.
What if he's worth $60 million?
If he's worth $60 million,
Let's have
and
a joint account.
I don't think a motherfucker with $60 million in the bank is gonna want to have a joint account.
I mean, no, probably
Silly.
not.
He'd be
But
You know what I'm
for
saying?
that.
The only men who want a joint account with their girls are guys who are in the struggle.
word.
You know what I
Good
mean?
point.
Well, I mean, that's,
Like, you're not gonna have a joint account with me. I work so hard to make this money. You can't. I'm not sharing it with you. I'm sharing it with my child.
yeah, I mean, that's
I'm a
kinda
mother though. That's different.
That's kind of the funny thing is like the Beige Phillips show is about making dudes more credible so that you don't, so he's not trying to steal your money.
We're tearing you guys
Right.
You
down.
know, I mean,
Leah, are you gonna have a joint account? Or as hard as you work, are you gonna have a joint account with someone?
Never have.
No,
Never.
for what?
Yeah.
And you too, Angela.
You know,
Unless we're like
Exactly.
unless we're
I'm
married.
gonna tell
I
you
don't
why
know.
I would have a joint
Maybe.
account. This is why I would have a joint account. Like if we go on vacation twice a year and we
Oh,
put
yeah,
in a
we
certain
could-
amount,
we could put our-
and we
we could
agree
have-
to put
Oh, that's
this amount
different.
in every month.
Oh,
you
that's
put
so
this in.
cute. I didn't
think
even
that's
think
cute.
of that.
You know what
That's
I'm
really
saying?
cute.
If we're
Like,
That's
saving
like
for
a
something,
crazy
joint
commitment
account.
right there. That's scary.
You see?
What if you
It's-
break up? What if you like get sick of the guy and then you're like, "Fuck, we have this joint." You just take the money out, then you break
What
up
are we
with
supposed
him.
to do? Am I
That's
supposed to
my
go to Cancun by
I mean,
myself?
my thing is, if you're with a guy that you really don't know to the point where you're worrying about whether or not he's going to steal your money, that's probably a guy you shouldn't be with.
No, but what
you know?
Angela said is, you have a joint account because you're planning something.
Sure.
That's cute. I think
cute.
that's cute. Like, oh, babe, let's plan this vacation to go on. I mean, I don't want to be with anybody that I have to plan for a vacation 6 months ahead.
Well,
or a year
I
ahead.
do have to
I'm
plan for
sorry.
stuff in advance because I don't have off from work like that. So I know,
Yeah,
I
but-
have this week off.
Right.
Exactly, girl. So you want to be able to book your flight like
Right.
2 days before. Like, oh shit, I got 3 days off. Let me
I
book
like
a
to
flight.
plan ahead, though. I'm not gonna lie. Now, Dante,
Yeah.
you were saying that it's okay if you have a separate account and then you have this
Right,
account.
I have
that
my account, you have your account, and then we have a joint account, and that this way we can kind of build the trust by how we handle that account. I mean, if you're thinking about somebody like you really trying to rock with somebody, I mean, that kind of trust is not built in a moment; it's built with time, and so
Right.
just as well
agree.
as sex and everything else, you build that trust with time. You get your joint account, you get your anal ease, you just build
You
it.
know what I'm saying?
You just
Anal
you build
ease.
it up.
That'll fuck you in the ass, and then you get a joint account.
But I think it's the trust element of it. I think, my thing is I find dudes are so weak. Like I find dudes is just so
Me
weak
too.
in terms
Men
of
are the new women.
yeah, and it's and I think it has a lot to do with the whole feminist movement and I don't mean it feminist movement in terms of equal pay and maternity leave and stuff, but I'm saying the images of men are weak. It's always some dude on TV begging to get a blowjob or asking for permission or so on and so forth. And I think that what's happening is you have this I'm a strong woman because guys are so weak.
Right, I have to be.
So women
I
are
mean,
strong because of
basically,
that.
What
that's
you're saying
true.
there is really
sure. And
sad.
you-
100%. It's like so many of my past relationships. It's like I'm the fucking dude.
Right.
And that's why now I'm
Because
just,
you're
I
the
feel like a fucking
breadwinner, you're the
dude.
more
It's crazy.
successful
But
one.
I think I don't
Exactly.
I don't care how strong the woman is. In my experience is that when you start to show those alpha male tendencies and you show that you are the man, a woman becomes a woman. 'Cause
Yeah.
all she really wants to be, she wants to let a dude drive, but it's not about taking the control. It's about showing how credible you are, so that a woman relinquishes the control.
Right.
She's like, this dude got me.
It's hard for us to give up that control.
Sure. I mean, I think it's easy when a guy shows you that he's capable of that or that he's worthy of that control.
You know what's
what?
hard
Please
for-
look-
Go ahead, Leah.
I need to ask this question.
Go ahead.
yes.
All right. How many dates do you go on and let the guy pay before you offer or like try to split or what? Like,
Well,
how
here's the thing with I'm kind of a dude. I kind of always pay. I mean, it's nice for somebody to offer, but it's just what I do. But it's nice to know
That you
Yeah, no, I don't
offer.
think that there's a number of dates. I feel like you go and you hang out with a guy. You let him pay for everything, and then you hit him up. That you surprise him that one night, like, baby, it's on me tonight, and it's
We've been dating
really
for 2
impressive.
years.
2 years, that's too long.
But when do you do it? That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to emasculate.
Right. I don't think you emasculate him, and I think if you're offering. A lot of times, a guy won't let you do it anyway.
Absolutely, they never.
But what if you make way more money than he does?
I think it's still a situation. If you want to play in the major leagues, you got to play in the major leagues, and if not, I mean, I think it's
I agree with that.
Yeah, if you want to fuck a bitch with a lot of money, you got to pay.
But it's also reasonable to say, listen, I really dig you, but I don't really have it like that, and you can do other things. And I think if she's really a down ass chick, she'll
She's
go
with it.
But at least this dude is a straight up dude. But I think
Like if you eat me out
I
3
agree
times,
with
I'll take
you.
you to dinner.
well, you'd probably get you be taking me out to dinner the first hour.
I think it's cute, like you just be like, you surprise him, like, oh, babe, no, I'm gonna pay it tonight. I just got paid, and he's gonna be like, ooh, girl's so cute. I'm gonna fuck the shit out of her
But do you
tonight.
feel weird if you go out with a guy and then you offer to pay and he actually lets you?
Yes.
See, that's another problem.
Yes.
What if I do that shit and then I'm like,
he's
yo,
like,
fuck
okay.
you, dude.
like this broke ass nigga just let me pay for
This
dinner.
is different.
Don't ask for something. I think the
Don't ask for something if you don't want it.
Exactly. There's a level of sincerity. If you got this guy and he's been down for you, and he's allowing you to relinquish. You like, yo, this is a cool dude. I'm relinquishing this control, and then you feel like, man, I just want to do something.
Yeah.
Then you do it from the sincerity. I think. I
haven't wanted to like pull out my wallet and
Me
you know what I
either,
mean?
girl.
Yeah,
But I'm like, should I?
Yeah, but did you
Never?
But I think if you feel that, if you're
So when I
feeling,
feel it, I'll do it.
Right,
And
right.
until
I think
then,
that's-
I'm not pulling out my wallet.
I mean, I think it's a weird kind of thing. I think a woman a lot of times becomes a reflection of the man that she's fucking. So
Absolutely.
so
a lot
if-
of times, all the time.
If a chick is acting like a bitch, it's because her dude is a pussy. And so if she's calling him motherfucker and you ain't shit and this, it's because
Oh my
he's
God.
allowing that. I mean, if I'm taking out somebody for the first day and you go,
That's real
silly
insight.
ass motherfucker, I go, wait a minute, listen. I don't really fuck like that. Don't talk to me like that. Because that can only escalate to something.
This is a
More
whole new
But some
subject.
men like that.
Yeah,
Some
but-
men like that.
Wait, a
crazy
woman is gonna
talk.
call
No,
you
but
a
this is a whole new
motherfucker
subject
on the
because
first
you know what?
date?
Well, in general, I mean, I wouldn't care what it is. I mean, I think you have to start to set these boundaries up front, because if she's calling you that now, then she'll be calling you something else later.
Wait,
then,
so it's like she's just cursing
No, but you know
you?
what?
well, I'm
I-
just saying, even if it's in like, oh, you're a silly ass motherfucker, even if it's playful, I go, listen,
Stop acting like a bitch.
let's
No, honestly, I feel like if you're in a relationship and your man allows you to talk down on him, or vice versa,
Right.
you guys aren't in an even
I
relationship.
tell my friend, one of my friends talks so crazy to this guy that she dates, and he talks so crazy back to her. And I'm like, you guys, like, you talk like that to him, and then you get mad when he talks like that to you, but you talk like that to him
That's
too.
super
But honestly,
unhealthy.
I would never be okay with a man who lets me call him a bitch ass nigga.
I would never call somebody.
Well,
I
mean,
would
I think
never
it-
be okay with that. I feel like I'm a woman at the end of the day, and no matter how strong and independent I am, I do really well for myself. But a man is a man is a man is a man, and you have to submit to your man as a woman. I mean, I don't think that a man should disrespect you, but you can't be disrespecting a man like he's a little girl.
Yeah, but I think there are guys who are acting like little girls who kind of
No, that's true.
that
Right,
is
if a guy's
reflection.
acting
That's
like a
100% facts.
and I'm not saying that that's necessarily the way to handle it, but what I'm saying is,
No, if a man is a
if-
bitch ass nigga, you're gonna get treated like a bitch ass nigga.
that's always the case. But I think one of the things is because in time, like with relationships and feminism and all this stuff, we look at it because we're still animals, and there are still these instinctual drives underneath everything. So when a woman finds, like, you can say, I like a dude like this and I like a dude with that and I want this car and I want him to look like this, but you don't know what you want. Your pussy does.
Right.
Your pussy tells you, I like this dude. So it's a very
true.
kind of visceral thing that happens. So
My
there
head
is,
and my pussy are so.
It's all
disconnected.
chemicals.
but there's an instinctual.
Angela.
There's kind of this instinctual drive that makes you feel it, and that drive seeps through what I call the social contract, fidelity, monogamy, marriage, all of those things that we created on a cognitive level. But if you don't take into consideration that these things exist, that attraction it comes from an attraction of a guy who gives off that energy that makes you feel safe.
I totally agree with you, because when a guy gives me the energy that he's a sucker, I treat him like a sucker.
It's
That's
the way
a
it is.
fact.
It is the way it is.
You're 100. I'm sorry, baby.
And
you're
that-
100% right.
It's an interesting thing, and so I think, and a lot of times guys don't really even understand there's subtle things that tell you that this dude is really not credible, that makes you shake up and go, wow, this dude is really not credible. And you go, and then you don't even know. And a lot of times dudes will be like, you get guys like this bitch that, this bitch that, this bitch that. But the reality is that you're bringing that out. You're giving off this feminine energy, and she's rejecting it because you're not making her feel safe.
Feeling safe is a super important thing.
No, I feel that, but for me, it's like you said, we are animals and we have instincts. Like you can't smell, you can't tell it, you don't know it, but pheromones are very important. You smell it on people, and when a man lets you treat him like a bitch, you're gonna treat him like a bitch.
It's there's a lot of things. I mean, there's body language, there's
language,
swagger. We read
so
this,
many different
and
things.
A
woman, as a woman, you want to be independent. You want to do things on your own, and always, of course, but you want to submit to your man. You want to be safe. You want to feel protected. You know what I mean? So if you are going on disrespecting him, it's because you get that vibe that he's a bitch.
He's a bitch.
Absolutely.
And
What can a guy do to give you the vibe that he's a bitch?
By acting like a bitch.
Like what?
I mean,
Give me examples.
I think
Crying in front of you.
I think well, you know what? Even, I think even that, if you got a really hard dude,
No, because it happened to me.
and then you instantly thought that this guy was a bitch because he cried.
Well, I just couldn't fuck him after that.
Now
It was over for her after this guy cried.
Was the crying in the content? See,
He was crying because he didn't know what to do with his life. It was like really whack.
but see, that's a different thing. See, the decisiveness of
But he was
men.
21.
Well, decisiveness of
said
men.
he was 21?
Well, he's sure he know what the fuck
Yeah, and it
he
was
doing
just
anyway.
like not that long.
But it's like
She loves her young boy.
I think the decisiveness of men is attractive. Like if somebody says if you go, well, you want to go out to eat, and you go, yeah, well, you want to go where? Well, it's like, listen, get your clothes on, let's go.
I like
I'm gonna
somebody
pick you
to
up.
take charge.
And then I think all
Me
women do.
too.
I
I like
go
to be
through the
submissive.
Instinctual drive where a guy is taking
if
charge.
oh my god,
You know what? I feel like I'm a really powerful woman. I've been independent for a very long time.
But you
Like I
like
have
to
a
get
whole
slapped and choked.
story. Yes, of course. I do like to get slapped and choked a lot. But
Oh, we know. Oh, we know.
as strong as a woman myself, at the end of the day, I'm a girl. I am a woman. I'm a little baby. I'm a little woman.
You're
I
not a
make
little baby,
babies.
Stephanie.
Yes,
Stop
I
it.
am. I'm a little baby, and I want to get
getting
treated as such. No, I want to get treated as such, and I want my man to be able to protect me. I want him to be more powerful than me. If I disrespect my man, I need there to be consequences. I need to not want to disrespect my man.
And somebody said I was gonna make y'all mad. She's speaking the truth. It really is that kind of visceral thing.
But I'm right.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
As a woman,
but
you
even
know?
I think a lot of young dudes will they don't even pick up the keys and the cues when they're having sex. Like so, for instance, when I even teach this. Like, say the girl is missionary style, right? If she's missionary style,
I like missionary. By the way, I like that.
And her hips relax. Like if the joints in her hips relax and her legs fall back, she wants you deeper. That is the signal to know she's deeper. If she's pressing those hamstrings against the front of your legs, you're too deep. Now you can't be like, I'm gonna tear this pussy up, and she's wincing and she's pushing you away because you're too deep. That's not what having sex. You're supposed to check these cues. If you go down on it, one of the things that I tell dudes all the time is watch a woman's diaphragm. Watch how her diaphragm.
Her what?
Sing her diaphragm. Watch her breathing, the depth of her breathing. And so when you're doing the right thing, her breathing will get deeper.
Right.
She'll breathe deeper and
You
slower.
right.
And,
That's true.
And those
That-
little clues is dudes are not even aware of, that they don't even get the fact that you should be picking up these clues. And
I
they
hate when
don't.
somebody's going down on me and it's going great, and then they switch it up. And
Oh
you're
my
like,
God, I
"Listen,
know."
ruin
I was
like, wait, no,
everything.
go back.
Now we gotta start all over.
Right.
Go back.
Well, and
Right?
but that's because.
But you got to
my
tell
God,
them,
Angela,
go
you're
back and do the
so
other
right.
thing.
Doing it and the rhythm is established.
It's
It's like, okay,
perfect. You're like,
2
oh my
more
God,
minutes
I'm
of
about
this
to
and
go.
it's
I'm
over.
about to go.
But let me
And then
let me
they're
ask you. Let me ask you something. But it's
I'm
just
not about to come anymore.
like you
ruined
like
it.
you said you like to get choked, but the worst thing in the world is to have a dude that you got to tell him to choke you, or tell a dude that you got to.
Amen to
so
that.
So if he's not listening to these cues and he's not watching and paying attention, because it's really just.
But Dante, how can a
Because you
guy
could
know
just like,
that
no,
you want him to
because
choke
you
you?
could put his hands on your neck
Okay.
a little
Oh,
bit, right?
That's like telling him.
No,
Exactly.
well, you don't even have to do that. I mean, look, if he's
You can
if,
choke
But what if
yourself.
he really doesn't want to? Like,
No, I'm telling you, I've had guys that I'll be like, babe, pull my
start
hair,
slapping
choke me, and they're
yourself.
like,
You
no,
start slapping
no.
Because Dante, other people would say you should tell a man exactly what you want.
Listen,
I
it's
don't-
great if you're comfortable, but what is better than being with a guy who anticipates what your needs are
Right.
before you've even conceptualized what those needs are in your
It's
head?
like psychic.
It's like he's a step
sexual
ahead.
psychic.
He's a step ahead. So even if I'm making love to somebody and I might run my hands through your hair, and then I will cover your throat. I'll cover your throat and see where your head is at.
Right.
And I might
If I get
move-
terrified.
Right. Now, but it may be
Don't do it.
it may be gentle. I mean, but it could be a gentle cover. But I'm gonna cover your throat,
Right.
and see where you're at with that. Now, if I cover your throat and you throw your head back and roll it, then I might go a little.
If it gets a little wetter, you're like,
Right.
okay, she likes this.
So I mean, I think you have to. So the sex should be, even the first few times, the sex should be this kind of. As a guy, you should be exploring these things that you know. If she's into this, if you go to the back, I mean, guys will pull the hair, but you don't pull the hair from the bottom of the hair. You
No,
the
you
hair
pull it
Oh
from
my
the
God,
scalp.
isn't that the
from
when the
the
worst
from
when
the
the
head.
guys?
Go up the
From the
back.
track.
Of the
Listen,
head.
this is something that men need
the
to
track.
learn. You
For
don't
real.
pull the hair from the end of
What
it.
the
You
fuck,
gotta go
right?
in the
That shit
head.
is fucking crazy. Like, what the fuck?
You gotta
I know.
go in
Like,
the head.
what's going on?
Put the hand on the scalp and a nice little tug.
Go right
like,
up,
don't go
up the back of the
crazy.
head, grab the roots, and then
That's
pull,
beautiful.
And then you see
my
where it's.
favorite thing
And then
ever.
when you see,
I
then
know.
you push further and you kind of see. You got to see where you got to go from there, where she's at. Now, I mean, you can escalate, and then there comes a time where you'll feel that if it's too much, a woman will kind of genuflect about, wow, that's, and then to back down.
Because I'll be like, ow.
No. Listen,
I
my
do
boyfriend, like listen to me. My current boyfriend, like he knows exactly how to touch me. He knows exactly how to be rough or be gentle. And I've asked him about it. Like, babe, have you ever done that to other girls? And he's like, yes. They'll be like, don't do that.
You're a tough cookie. Ow. But you know what? The same thing for
You
guys.
gotta know what to do.
Because I've had friends tell me that you got to try things with guys instead of asking them about certain things, like stick a finger in his asshole.
I was
A lot
gonna
of guys
say,
like
what
that.
do
You
guys
can't
want?
ask him.
to-
No, guys,
And a guy's
when they
not gonna
want,
ask you for
when
that,
men
right?
want a
Right,
finger
well-
in their ass, they do a little nudge. They want you to put it like you're sucking their dick and you got your hand there, and they're like,
The next
little
thing you know,
nudgy
right.
nudge,
Some guy, like once I.
little nudge.
No, like this one ex that I had liked when I touched his balls a lot. So then my next boyfriend, I went to touch his balls.
And he hated it.
He fucking freaked out like, ow, oh fuck. And I was like,
You're
shit.
fragile.
Like he acted like I fucking just almost like
Right.
made him
Like they're eggs.
sterile.
It's
You know,
different.
like it was crazy.
I think it's different. Just like with women, you know,
now
some
I'm scared
women.
to touch balls.
She's got a
I
ball
haven't done
phobia.
it.
Now, Dante,
She's totally
hold on,
with you on
Dante,
that.
how do you feel about
because
your balls?
some guys like to get their
I like
balls
my
licked.
I like my balls grabbed. I like them held.
You
I like
see?
them pulled. I like
Some guys don't want you
I mean,
near them.
and that's fine. But I mean, it's still a situation where you have to try. You have to try these things, and it's kind of this exploration. But I think what another thing is getting lost is the intimacy of it, the intent. A lot of times, you know, it's guys going through the motions. This is what I did with my last chick.
Right.
This is what I'm doing with you. Instead of understanding,
We're all
okay,
different.
this is what I know how to do. Let me try this. Let me try that. And then taking a sort of a mental note. Okay, she likes this. She doesn't like this. She likes it rough. She likes this. So and then every time you make love to her, you're picking up more and more information about her. So the sex gets better.
Right.
So you're constantly, and you have to have a repertoire.
That's why every sex, not even only sex, relationships is all about communication. You have to get to know each other. That's why people who are just meeting each other and then throwing their legs up or sticking their dick out, it never works. You can't have a really good experience because you guys are not communicating.
And it's hard, and like for one night stands or that kind of thing, it's like how can you even have good sex when you don't even like know
You
the
don't know
person?
each
It's
other.
hard, you know.
It happens, though, I'm sure.
I mean, I don't think it ever happens. I mean, there's no way that if I fuck you today and I fuck you 10 times from now, it's going to be way doper than it was
The first time.
day. Because
Absolutely.
there's a level of comfort, there's a level of intimacy, and I think the intent is something that I've been experimenting with myself is the intent. So I think sometimes a guy will kiss you because he wants to grab your tits. He will grab your tits because he wants to fuck you. When if he just thought the kiss is the most important thing, like being present in that kiss where your lips are pressed up and there's a moisture, your lips are sliding across of each
Instead of
other.
thinking of the next.
Instead of the next, being in that moment, and if that kiss is the only thing that he gets this kind of sexual satisfaction from the intent of making this kiss, as if this is the best kiss I'm ever going to give. This is the last kiss I'm going to. So being in that moment.
Are there times when people just aren't good at things, though, no matter what? Like, you could like somebody a lot, have been with them a long time, but for some reason, they just don't
They're just not
get
good
it.
at it. No, and for me, you know, like somebody might be so good at something to someone, and then to the next person, they're just awful
terrible.
at
Yeah, but
it.
I think you
know what I
can you
mean?
can practice, and I think you can communicate, and I think if you start
too.
I think what you have to get good at is reading the cues.
And
Is
for
the
me,
communication and reading
relationships
what
are
those-
all about chemistry. You know what I mean? If you like you were just talking about it, a kiss is so important.
Right. It's
if
it's
you
an
don't,
intimate thing.
It's for me, it's the most important thing.
Some
and
people think kissing is more intimate than sex.
much more intimate than sex.
I don't know
Well,
about
it depends
that.
on who you
Yeah, I
fucking-
don't know about
Yeah,
that.
that's true.
So it depends
No,
on
but
who
for
you
me, like if you don't match, if your mouths don't match, it's a waste of time.
well, you know,
Because you got to be able to breathe someone in. You got to be able to take in their breath, and, you know, to kiss them and feel it. You know what
Well,
I mean?
I think you have, you know, it's like when there used to be a game you used to play when you were a kid, and you
Leah's
have
like,
like,
I'm just-
you're like,
I'm like, yeah.
yeah, but I think what's funny is I think, like I said, the first thing I said was a woman is a reflection of the guy she's with, and so when he's
Absolutely.
intimate and when he's present in the moment and he's present with every act, she will be present in every act.
Right.
So I think, you know, I mean, guys will kill me for this, but I say anytime a relationship doesn't work, it's the guy's fault. Because a woman attaches herself
Yeah,
to
I
you.
agree with
truth.
that.
Of course
I
you
so agree
do.
with that shit.
Absolutely.
Because here's the thing.
100% facts.
Here's the thing. If I, you know, I have this thing called the coffee cup theory. Like, you know, you go to a diner, you get a coffee cup, and then the little dude runs around. If your coffee cup is empty, right, the dude fills up your coffee cup. So me as your man, I'm supposed to make sure your coffee cup is full. So when the
Yes.
next dude comes around, he goes, oh, now you good. Your cup is already full.
Right.
So
I could use a little cream though.
yeah, well,
And a little sugar. I need some sugar.
But if it's full, you got to pour some of the coffee out to put the cream in. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
So this is what guys are not doing. They're not understanding that they have to read these cues and fulfill these needs. And the same content, set boundaries, be strong enough so that you're a credible enough dude that a woman can relinquish the control and give you that control. And still be able to cultivate her in her own kind of artistic endeavors and so that she can grow as a woman, but she's still, because she has that foundation and everything is good at home and this dude's got her back, and when it's all crazy and she feels crazy, like, oh, I don't know what to do, this is crazy, he's got to be able to, lay down, let me rub your ass.
Because that is true. That is when women cheat. When things aren't good at home. That's when women cheat.
Yeah.
Right,
Men will
absolutely.
cheat when things are good at home.
I mean,
still.
women, a grown adult
They do.
It
woman.
can happen, but I think what happens is a lot of times, women are selling guys what they want to sell them instead of what they want. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm fucking you and I'm this and I'm that and that's not necessarily what he wants. So I think you have to tap into what he wants to keep him. But I mean, I
agree with that.
I personally believe that when the guy is on point, I've never seen a woman, no matter how crazy she is.
But what do you mean by on point?
What I'm saying is this dude, like there's been even times when I've had multiple partners, right? Or I've had, but I know your bra size. I know your panty size. I know your shoe size. I know what your birthday is. I know what food you like. I know that, you have to be this dude who's an extraordinary dude. That where you're tuned into the moment of who this woman is and what her needs are. Not necessarily what her wants are, but what her needs is. What her needs, what her weaknesses are, what are not, and you got to be listening. Because women talk.
Yeah.
Y'all talk. We tell
sure
us
do.
everything.
We talk so much.
We sure do.
Especially when you're on lip service.
The problem is that dudes are not listening. They're not listening to what you're saying. And not necessarily specifically what you're saying, but you have to look at what the undertone of what a woman is talking about.
Does every man cheat?
I think a lot of guys do, but I don't think you have to.
I don't think
that
every man
and
cheats.
I think if you're aware of that kind
You're
of
I
saying
think
that 'cause you have a
90%.
boyfriend.
No. 98%.
A lot do.
98%.
98?
I
90 or 98?
98.
Oh, Jesus.
You know why I say 98%? I feel like, no, you know what? I don't know the percent. I don't know the
She
percent.
made it up.
But I just
made
made
it
it up. I just freestyled it.
Well, I mean-
but listen to me. No, wait. I think that a man will cheat according to his opportunities.
It's
If you taking care of your man, you keeping him at home. Everything
Don't
is
let him
under
out.
control.
Lock him
He
inside.
ain't really
Lock
around.
him outside.
Now, if your man is in a strip club all the time, hey girlfriend, he might be cheating.
Right.
well, you're right. You'll see guys do different things
a man
in
cheats
terms of
according
their
to his options.
opportunities.
Yeah,
And the
opportunities. Excuse me.
If he travels a lot for
Opportunities,
work.
yes.
If he,
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah, like that's the
Absolutely.
problem with dating men in entertainment. Men in entertainment, it's a 90%.
Well, it's not even just entertainment, though.
No,
You know who cheats the most?
businessmen, I mean, they
Doctors. They
travel
say
a lot.
doctors
Yeah.
are high on the list
Oh,
of
exactly.
men that cheat.
Okay, let's say
Plus, they're
men
at the
in
hospital all
the
the time.
airport.
With nurses.
Men in the
Nurses.
airport. Men in the airport cheat.
Right. Every man cheats. Don't matter what you do.
98% of the time.
Men who work in a bodega cheat, okay?
Men who work in the bodega cheat with the girl who needs some milk.
I need a Lucy. She's right here.
I think it goes both ways. I think one of the things about women is their attraction to men is such an emotional thing.
Right.
Like the minute a minute you've shown yourself to be this bitch and she's decided that you're a bitch, it's a wrap. There's no loyalty. There's nothing. Look, I don't feel you like this. Like what you said, I saw this dude cry, and then I don't
That
ever
was
want
it.
to fuck him again.
It depends on what he cries about.
No, of course.
Sure.
And this was just like an unnecessary, like,
An
crying.
unnecessary
Right.
cry.
Right.
Like you
Right.
just
If-
teary
if
for
he's
no
a thug
reason.
and it's like
Exactly.
one slow
That's
thug
right.
tear, you might be like, "Oh, that's so
exactly.
adorable."
I love
Yeah, of
one
course,
thug
not
tear.
like
I
this.
love one thug tear.
Not like a couple tears and like whining and like crying on my fucking
No, I hate
shoulder,
a
like,
man
What
who
if he's
whines.
watching the news and something's
go
in the news?
fucking
And
suck
Oh
on
no!
your mom's
If a
tit,
man
like,
is, listen to me. I'm a woman. I cry. I cry for the commercial with the cats and the dogs.
you cry over that.
It's
but
like,
what if he does?
if my man cries over the cats and the dogs, I'm breaking up with him. You got to get out my house.
Well,
I don't want to
you know
fuck
what's
with you
funny
no
is
more.
when she said-
I hate my cats. I can't.
When she said the dude that cried, it's not that he cried about his life.
Right.
So
That
He
the
was
fact
only
that
21.
he has no direction, and you don't feel safe with him because he doesn't have any direction, and that's what
Wait,
emasculates.
No,
Do you-
Leah
do you
is too
think if-
bossy to be with a crying ass
Yeah,
man.
exactly. Do you think if a guy isn't like coming up with plans, like he's just like, we'll do whatever you want, is that like not cool?
Yeah, I think it's not. Cool.
I don't think that's cool
it's-
either.
Oh, Leah.
I think
What if
there's-
he's just so laid back, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I
it's so
think
bomb.
a guy with a direction.
What if he's awesome though?
I mean,
But he just wants to do whatever I want to do.
I do.
Yeah,
nice?
You know what?
No,
Some
I
of the,
think that's
Yeah, that
some of
gets
the
stale.
greatest dates I've ever been on with guys or guys that I've dated are people that come up with like, let's try this restaurant. I
Let's
found
do
this
this.
place.
Let's
Let's do
do
that.
things.
That's the best. I hate when I have to come up with everything
Oh
all
my
the
god,
time.
I can
like
never figure out what I want to eat.
right.
but I
Right?
Me
think
neither. Me neither.
you
Like,
get tired of
Please
that.
pick that.
If
Please
you got a
choose.
guy that has no direction and he's not decisive, eventually
Yeah.
you're like, well, what the
Yeah,
what the fuck
I
are you
will
doing?
get sick of
And then
that.
you start to feel unsafe. It's almost a visceral kind of feeling. It's like a instinctual feeling. Like, why is he not? He don't have nothing. He don't want to do nothing. Like what? And then you
My
start to
main
question it,
thing
and
with a
then-
man is
then
that
you
I need to
find
feel safe.
You find him less attractive
Absolutely.
because
It's
of
a
it,
wrap.
and
Yup.
then it starts to fall apart.
You're 100% right. I agree with
So
that.
that direction and making this it's a funny thing. Like I remember, like I was watching Oprah one time, right? And Oprah she was buying like a Labrador Retriever, right? And Stedman was with her, right? And so now this is Oprah, $50 billion Oprah. So she's looking at them. She's like, "Oh my God, the puppies are so cute. I'm gonna buy them all, right?" And Stedman goes, "No, you can have one." And I'm like, "Oh shit!"
Nice. Oprah?
Like,
Nice.
Why
Like,
she's
down.
with Steph.
I like
that,
That's
why-
that's
then he
why
goes,
it works.
do,
he goes, all right.
baby.
He goes, all right. You pick one and I'll pick one, but that's it. And I was like, this is why she's
No,
with this
that's-
dude.
that's
because-
good.
And then he was
Yeah.
like, okay, you can have them all.
Now, Oprah could buy all the Labrador Retrievers, put them on an island, and call
She
it
could buy all of them in the
Labradoria,
world.
and pay
Victoria?
people and
In the whole world.
But the fact that even in the context of this woman who is mega rich, has a guy who she counts on and who she feels that she can go to and confide in, and that he's got her back, is why she's with dude.
Right.
She won't marry him
It has
though.
nothing. Well, he won't marry her. And if you think about it, if you really think about it, you show me a black
do you
woman.
know?
You show me an older black woman who is telling the world that she doesn't really believe in marriage. That's bullshit. Like, this is an overweight
Wait,
black
why would Stedman not marry Oprah though? Come on.
because he don't want to.
Why not?
I don't know about
Oh
that.
Doesn't make
my
any
God.
Well, here's
Now, back up, Dante. How do we know
All right,
that
here's-
Stedman doesn't want to marry Oprah?
He
you
does.
tell me an
I'll marry
overweight black
Oprah.
woman.
Me too.
Who don't want to
Eat that
get
pussy.
married.
But look
Hey, girl.
you tell me a black man that don't want to marry the richest woman.
A black man,
the
no,
richest
he want
black
to
woman
fuck a
in the
rich woman.
world.
He don't want to marry
He's
a
been
rich
married
woman.
forever though.
Exactly, but what I'm saying is that's how pimp he is. He's actually got this black woman saying, "I don't really
Oh, but
believe
you
in
see,
marriage."
that's when we get into
I don't
talking
know,
about
does she-
pimp game.
wait, does she
That's-
say-
that's a whole
You think
different
Stedman
subject?
is pimping Oprah?
Oh, absolutely.
You see,
Stedman is-
that's
Stedman
what
is
we-
I think you
this is
want
why
to
we
believe
have
that. I'm
you
not
here.
sure.
Let's talk about
Listen,
pimp
listen.
game.
know.
Here's what you can. All you have to do is look at the pictures.
Let's
you
talk
look
about
at the
pimp
pictures,
game.
when you look at the pictures and you see Oprah, Stedman looks like the man and Oprah looks like the girl.
As they
now
should.
watch Brad Pitt with
Angelina
Jolie.
Jolie.
He's got bags. He's 2 feet behind her. He's carrying shit. He's got a bunch of kids. He's dragging it. It's
Come
a
on,
different.
don't do Brad Pitt like
Wow.
that.
It's a different.
I mean, Angelina's definitely the boss.
You're right.
And she's Angelina.
She
Like,
pimping.
But you can see
She's
the. You can
Oprah.
see the.
that's true.
Yeah, she's Oprah until you put a dick in her. Then she's a chubby bitch with a dick in her. So that's you know
She's
what I'm-
Oprah till you
Her weight
put a dick in her,
fluctuates.
quote unquote. She is Oprah till you put a
That's-
dick in her.
Her weight
man.
fluctuates.
I think you and my ex would get along really well.
Jesus.
I mean, but the credibility of it, I think the credibility of men is an important thing, and I think we're losing
No,
it.
honestly, I agree with you.
Agreed.
As a woman, let me tell you something. I do really well for myself. I'm very grateful and blessed that I have had opportunities to be able to take care of myself and live well. But I still feel like my man should be over and above me. I should be able to listen to my man.
Financially?
Or
just-
who cares about financially? Money is green paper. Who cares? Nobody cares about money. At least I don't. I'm sorry.
At all?
No, I mean I want to make money, of course. Everybody, but I do well for myself, and I'm
You would
very
date a
grateful
broke.
for
You would
that.
date a broke guy, like no, pretty broke. He's got to come
If
live
my
with
man
you.
is good to me and he's that's the whole thing I'm talking about. If my man is good to me and he's broke or he's rich, it doesn't matter. I should be, as a woman, as a girl, submissive to my man.
But here's the thing: you can have a rich dude, and he's a bitch. And
Exactly.
you gonna dump
Nobody
him in,
wants that.
you might take his money,
I
but you
don't
don't
want a
that
rich
either.
dude that's a bitch.
Now, if you got a guy who maybe don't have it popping right now, but you believe in him, and this kid is working, and he's moving and shaking, and he's
This
trying to
is
make
church.
it happen.
This is
that's
real.
What you
This
because
is-
that's the safety you feel as a woman. If this
No.
dude, you want to look.
As a woman, listen, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt
it's
you.
fine.
As a woman,
Yes, you do.
no, I'm drinking. I'm sorry, guys. But as a woman, I want my man to be able to protect me. I want my man to be able to talk over me, to put me in my motherfucking place.
Well, Dante, put her in her place so you can finish saying what you were saying.
No, he can't put me in my place. My
But
man
what
puts
she's
me in my
saying is
place.
what she's saying is the truth. It's like. You know, it's that thing when you look.
No, I still wanna be a
dressed.
boss.
It's get dressed, get in the car. We're gonna go somewhere. Where are we going? Listen, just get in the car.
Just get
So
in the
we all need a
car.
little bit of
Right.
a pimp in our life.
Absolutely.
No,
Absolutely.
it's not even about pimping, because pimping is something you go out in the street and you bust it and then you bring the money home.
It's the same
That's,
principle, but
that's not what I'm doing.
It's the
That's
same,
not what I want to
it's
do
the same
ever.
principle.
I don't give
The
my
only-
man money, because no matter how rich or how broke my man is, I don't need to support him, because he's a man and he can take care of himself.
And if he's not supporting himself, then he doesn't have the credibility anyway.
Exactly.
So you want a guy to drive, but you want to make sure that he's capable of driving. So when you sit in the car,
Absolutely.
you know you see, and this is you know, anytime I've ever taken a chick out and we go someplace, go drive, she'll get up in the chair, fold her legs in the chair. It's kind of like, it's almost this little girl thing that comes where they just sit on there like, where we going? And but you gotta, as a dude, you gotta be able to bring that little girl out of her.
Yeah, you gotta bring
where
it out
she
of her where
feels
she's
goofy.
like, all right, I'm just gonna chill. My man he's driving.
He's
like you
driving.
said,
So,
yes.
and that the credibility
Yes.
of it's important. And how does a guy?
No, and I'm.
Wait, I gotta talk to Leah right
Yes,
now.
let's
Leah,
talk
what
to
is
Leah.
going on in your head?
What do you think, boo?
Because Leah is like,
No, I mean, it's different. I guess, like, I've just dated such different kinds of guys. Like, maybe because my energy's masculine or something, right? So, like,
Mine is too.
I always kind of, like, have taken the reins and, like, say what's going down.
But is that what
I
you,
feel
is
like
that what
Leah
you,
wants
the
to choke
question
her
is,
boyfriend.
Is that what you want?
I don't know.
I think
Like, that
I've-
sounds cool, but, like, it also sounds bossy. Like, wait,
Nah,
tell me where
that's-
we're going.
listen, I'm not.
How do I have to dress
Babe,
for it?
are we
Like,
gonna be okay?
Well, I'm not saying
Are we ride or dying?
It's
Do I
not
have
like
to
I wouldn't
die?
say how to dress
Right, but
or
like,
something.
hey, we're gonna go
But I'm
here and
saying
get ready or
it's-
something.
let's
Like,
get
I
ready,
guess
let's
that
do
would be
this.
that'd be cool. Like, there was one instance, like, there was this guy and he and me and him kind of had similar personalities, and it's just like, whoa, like it was like I need like a yang to my
You're
yang
like, wait,
kind of
wait,
thing,
wait,
you
wait.
know?
This is too much.
I
This is
think
too much.
what I think is sometimes you get guys who are aggressive, and usually a lot of guys who are aggressive are become abusive, and that's the problem. That's what the fear is of having an aggressive dude, because he's aggressive, he's abusive, and if he's soft, then he's a bitch. The real thing is walking the tightrope
Right.
between a guy who is aggressive but he's still considerate in the same context of what your
Absolutely,
needs
100%.
are.
Yeah.
And
I
when
do.
you
Somebody
what?
has to be able to check me when I step out of line, because I
No,
will step out of
Angela,
line.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, you have- you do have
like,
to-
as a woman, you make your own money. You do really
I will
well
walk
for
all
yourself.
over somebody if they
Angela
let me.
Yee owns a house. She owns her own car, owns a house. She's not backed up on her bills. Angela Yee is very successful, but I'm sure that you want a man to be like, hey, chill. Don't flip out on me because I'm a man. Like,
Right.
don't get too crazy.
Because I also can't let me talk crazy to you. Because
Exactly.
after that, it's over. It's over.
Should.
It's
And
over.
I know Angela's on radio. This is what she does. She could cut somebody up, no
Yes.
problem. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you know, there's a lot to it. I mean, I think if you're intelligent, you want a man who's intelligent. Yeah,
Absolutely. I agree with
you're
that
on the
too.
radio, you're articulate, so you want a man who's articulate. But you also want to feel safe. You want a guy who can teach you things and show you things that you didn't. Maybe even give you a perspective on something that you didn't have before.
Yes.
And if you're going to this well and he's got nothing to give you, and you're better than him. A woman never dates a guy who she's better than.
You see, and the thing.
Better is not. Better is not.
That's all I do.
Well, but that's exactly why
I
they.
date down. I
But
know
that's,
it's
but that's why they don't last.
Not
because
always, but, you know,
yeah,
but a
always
lot.
because the only
No.
other ones are the exes. You
No,
said
listen,
your ex.
no,
6
Leah's
times
relationships
already.
last.
I did it,
There's
this
a
is-
bunch of different ones.
No,
Right.
Leah's
Yeah.
relationships last. The thing with Leah is that Leah is so bossed up. Leah is like she's the man. Like she is that.
No, hold
bitch.
on now, Leah. You do date down, Leah, sometimes.
No. And that's the thing with Leah is that, you know, she's like looking at these niggas like, yeah, right. You can't beat me.
Well, that was also that's
Kind
sometimes
of.
that's
You know
that's
what I
in the
mean?
context of
No,
her being
Leah's problem is
safe.
that Leah just
And
likes.
there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
She likes big dicks. That's what the problem is.
You know, she's
And
getting a
sometimes
big
Leah's
dick,
Leah's
and she
a
still got
size
her
queen.
big money, her
Leah's a
own money
size
in
queen.
her bank, and you know,
All you
like
gotta do-
Leah, you know, Leah's just like, you know, like I might date him young, I might date him old. At the end of the day, nobody's fucking with me.
No, all you
That's-
gotta do.
Yes,
That's how Leah
that's
feels.
exactly
Nah,
it.
girl,
All
I
you gotta
feel
do
I'm
is
the
send
same way. I
Leah
feel
a great
you.
dick pic, and you're in. No, I'm just kidding.
Never.
I mean,
Shut up,
that- I mean, that's a starting point.
It's like, oh, you have a good dick. But can
size
you
queen.
fuck with me? Is that's a problem with Leah, is that the guys that she is meeting, they can't really fuck with her. That's
Sure.
what it is.
Well, you know,
She treats them like the bitch ass niggas. That
Right, but when she does meet somebody, when she ultimately does meet somebody who can fuck with her, that's when she'll fall in love.
I'm ready. Bring it.
She's looking.
but
She's
Leah, are
looking.
you really ready? Because it's
No, but that's
maybe
why
you
I love
aren't
Leah.
really.
They
ain't even
Maybe
ready.
you aren't trying to find the right person by dating all these people that you know aren't the right people.
No, but that's why I respect Leah.
I'm
because
ready.
I could tell just from her whole demeanor that she's not playing no games. Like
No.
she's like, whatever. I might get this sex, but you can leave.
You know, it's
Basically.
weird because you know, like if you ask anybody, if I say, are you perfect? You go, of course not, right? But although we understand on a cognitive level that nobody's perfect, a lot of times we hold ourselves to the standards of perfection.
I'm pretty close
You know
to
what I'm
it.
saying? But,
Perfect, girl. Me too.
but we hold ourselves to
Angela-
those standards of perfection, even though we cognitively know that perfection doesn't exist. And if we admit that we're not perfect, what does that mean? It means that we make mistakes. And if we make mistakes, then we need forgiveness. And if we need forgiveness, then you have to give forgiveness. So I mean, there's always has to be a leeway in terms of what that these are human beings and that you're trying to fit together, and you make mistakes and so on. That doesn't mean dating out of what your needs are. You still have to put your needs first. But I'm a firm believer that it is the man's job to figure out and anticipate what those needs are and to fulfill them even before you conceptualize what they are in your own head, by listening to you. Because a woman will be in an emotional situation where this is crazy and this is going crazy and he should be able to see through that and say, well, this is what's going on and this is what you need.
You know what's great what guys do? If you get into an argument or a fight with them and instead of them keeping it going, they end it. I think that's a great
They'd be
thing.
like, okay, whatever.
I don't like when somebody's stubborn with me.
Me too.
Yeah.
I hate that.
I like for you to
know
be like,
what?
okay.
I want you to give me your argument. I want to listen. I want to hear how you feel. I want to get up in your mind.
Stephanie's very passionate.
Don't judge me.
We're not judging you. We love it. It's very funny. But listen, I know Dante has to go because he does stand-up comedy. He has to go to stand-up.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love stand-up.
Well, you guys can come out. I'll invite you. You guys can come to a show whenever you want to come to a show.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I enjoyed this conversation with you.
I'm glad you did.
We'll have him back. And make
And
sure you
I'll,
listen
and
to his
I'll let
podcast
you know.
as well.
I have the Beige Phillip podcast. It's on BeigePhillip.com. You can follow me on Dante Twitter at Dante Nero, DanteNero. And I also do one-on-one consultations. I do phone consultations at SaveMeDante@gmail.com. If you
Save me, Dante.
Wait,
Oh
you
my
do
God, you're like a
consultations
therapist?
for
Yeah,
what?
pretty much.
No, wait, you do consultations for men?
Do you do
and
couples
women
therapy?
relationships?
Both, yeah. I do
Stephanie's
both.
like, I need help.
If you have
No, I don't need help.
Save me,
I find
Dante.
that very interesting.
I think that's really interesting too.
I find that very interesting.
I've been doing it for quite a
I'd
time.
known that
I
earlier.
was doing it for years. I've been doing the podcast for 3 years, and the emails that I would get and the questions that I was getting, it just got a little crazy that we just started a business with.
But
it
let me
last
ask you one question because a lot of people send me in questions.
Okay.
And I got to ask you one of them for my Ask Ye because people always want to know. Hold on, let me get it. Oops, wrong one.
No, but I really enjoyed our conversation.
Yeah, I'm glad.
I'm gonna subscribe to your podcast. I'm gonna
Should check
listen
it
to
out.
it because
It's a
I
lot of
like to
fun.
listen to things on a male perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, here's one. Okay, I'm 23. I haven't had too many experiences dating, although I've had a couple of friends with benefits and realized it's not my thing. Could you give me some tips about that first few weeks or months of getting to know someone during the dating process? How often should we talk? What are the boundaries and how do you keep them interested and how do you find out their true intentions?
Here's what I say to a lot. Is this a guy or girl?
It's a female.
Female. Okay, I think what you have to do first and foremost is be the best version of yourself. I think a lot of times when you have younger women and they're still trying to find themselves and they don't really have the direction of, when you're the best version of yourself, then you can be confident about how you put yourself in and what your needs are. So I think that is first and foremost. When it comes to dating, I think you have to be, a woman can be as honest as she wants. And I think she has to be as strong as she wants. You can't ask a woman to be less strong or less of what she is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a guy's job to manage that and to find out where he fits into that.
But you know what? I think the biggest problem when you're first dating someone in the beginning is that you're never your real self.
Well, I think that's
People
the important
are
thing of
always
being right.
fucking
We
lying.
lie.
I think
We
that
lie.
We lie.
my for me, I don't know if anybody wants advice from me, but for me, my best advice is just be you.
Yeah.
You know, you
But
can't fake yourself.
If you're
eventually you is gonna come out.
if you're the best version of yourself,
You know what I
if
mean?
you
Yep.
feel the reason why people lie about who they are is because they're not really comfortable with who they are in the first place, and so
Absolutely.
they feel like they need to perpetrate as somebody else because they're not really comfortable. So when you are the best version of yourself, then you can be you because you're comfortable with it. So one of the things I say is whatever's broke, fix it. Whatever you're uncomfortable about, fix that first. You know, I mean, I'm not saying you can't date, but even if you're in the process of fixing it, if it's your weight, if it's your education,
Anything.
if it's your job, fix it. Because
if
that
you feel uncomfortable about it, get it together.
That will seep into your
I agree
brain
with
while
that.
you're with somebody else, and that lack of confidence will cause you to lie and misrepresent who you are, and it'll also cause you to put up with shit that you wouldn't normally put
If
up.
I'm broke,
True.
fix it, baby.
Fix it, baby. Go get a job, baby.
Well, Dante Nero, thank you so
Thanks
much
for having
Beige
me. I
Phillip's,
appreciate it. It was awesome.
podcast. And you can also follow him, Dante Nero.
Yeah.
All right.
I hope
you
you
so
enjoyed
much.
us, Dante.
I know, we're awesome.
Thank you.
We need
Thank
you
you.
back.
I'd love to.